For generations, humanity has scoured the skies, not only searching for planets or listening for faint radio signals, but for something rarer. Those elusive irregularities that refuse to obey the rules of nature. Anomalies that whisper of secrets beyond our comprehension. And now, the James Webb Space Telescope may have uncovered exactly such an enigma. What began as an ordinary observation of the third recorded interstellar visitor within our solar system, known as 3 Atlas, quickly spiraled into something far more unsettling. In the cold, desolate region beyond Mars, Webb detected not just the faint shimmer of distant sunlight, but a glow unlike anything seen before. This was no reflection, no scattered light from frozen ice. It was illumination, artificial, deliberate, impossibly controlled. Light that cycled in ways no comet, asteroid, or fragment of drifting rock ever could. Suddenly, astronomers and astrophysicists were left with a question so profound it shook even the most rational minds. What exactly is 3 Atlas? At first, Atlas appeared unremarkable, a faint blur at the edge of the solar system. But its motion was wrong. It wasn't bound by the sun's gravity, nor did it behave like a local comet. Its trajectory marked it as interstellar, hurled across the galaxy by unknown forces, arriving in our celestial neighborhood like a messenger from the deep. To many, it seemed another curiosity, a distant cousin of Oumuamua or Borisov. But from the earliest images, a strangeness revealed itself. Unlike its predecessors, Atlas shone with an unnerving steadiness. Its brightness did not surge with volatile gas eruptions. It did not fade as dust was blown away. Instead, it glowed evenly, with a sharpness that did not match its estimated size or mass. It gleamed as though lit from within, powered not by sunlight, but by something hidden beneath its surface. Comets brightened sporadically as they bleed vapor into space. But Atlas remained constant, stubbornly refusing to follow nature's rules. When Webb, with its unmatched sensitivity to the infrared spectrum, turned its gaze upon the object, the mystery deepened. From its position a million miles from Earth, the telescope revealed something extraordinary, a focused thermal emission radiating from the object's core. Not reflected sunlight, not surface scattering, but genuine heat energy, structured, pulsing, and faintly rhythmic. The pattern repeated just enough to raise suspicion that this was not chaos, but intent. Some at NASA whispered theories: radioactive decay, exotic isotopes, subsurface friction. But one by one, those ideas collapsed under scrutiny. What remained was more terrifying. An object that seemed to generate its own power. An object that might not be natural at all. As observations mounted, Atlas's portrait grew stranger. Its orbit was too exact, as if it had selected its route through gravitational wells with precision. Its spin remained unnervingly consistent, not the random tumble of a drifting body. Even its lack of a comet tail, despite heavy solar radiation, suggested a shielding of some kind, perhaps an engineered casing protecting whatever lay inside. And then came the most damning revelation of all. Surface readings revealed reflectivity levels unlike rock, ice, or dust. Some regions shone with near-perfect smoothness, comparable to polished alloys. To astronomers, it was like staring at the hull of a machine. Metallic, deliberate, structured. The whispers grew louder: beacon, probe, vessel. Technology. The possibility could no longer be dismissed as fantasy. But the most haunting evidence came not from the materials, nor the path, but from the light itself. Photometric studies showed that Atlas emitted radiation in a precise band of the spectrum. Not wide, chaotic reflections, but controlled wavelengths, narrow and exact. The same way human engineers design lasers, LED arrays, or spacecraft beacons. More disturbing still, this band included frequencies humanity itself uses for navigation and communication. And the pulses, subtle, faint, but undeniable, did not flicker at random. They carried patterns. To some analysts, they looked like binary sequences. To others, like telemetry, data being relayed somewhere across the galaxy. And the most unsettling thought of all, the signal had remained unchanged since Webb's first detection. Atlas wasn't speaking to us. It was speaking to someone else. Behind closed doors, the world's most powerful agencies moved quickly. A classified report leaked from within NASA confirmed that international partners were already collaborating on a risk assessment. Was Atlas ancient, a probe wandering for centuries, blindly transmitting? Or was it active, adaptive, aware? The report raised terrifying questions. If it was sending signals, who, or what, was receiving them? If it could emit light with such precision, could it also maneuver? Whispers grew of a darker possibility, that 3 Atlas was not an accidental visitor, but a scout. A machine designed for reconnaissance, drifting between star systems, quietly recording civilizations that had reached technological maturity. Its brightening, its pulses, even its silence might be part of an observation cycle. And if it was a scout, then something else could follow. The sudden surge in brightness only fueled suspicion. In less than 2 minutes, the object increased its luminosity by nearly 40% before stabilizing. No comet behaves that way. No natural body ignites with such immediacy. To observers, it looked like a system powering on, an awakening triggered by either its distance to the sun, or perhaps by us noticing it. Not long after, Atlas's trajectory shifted. A small deviation, subtle but undeniable. It was no longer moving exactly as expected. It was steering. The adjustment nudged it closer to the plane of Earth's orbit. For the first time, astronomers began to wonder aloud. Was this object heading directly for us? Further spectroscopic analysis delivered even more shocking results. Hidden within its emissions were traces of rare alloys, materials not formed in natural environments. Some signatures even hinted at exotic compounds, theorized only in quantum materials research, substances that could not exist outside of intense artificial conditions. Whatever Atlas was made of, it was not ordinary. It was not something nature built on its own. Governments reacted in silence but with urgency. Observatory networks were locked down. Access to raw data was restricted. Satellite recalibrations spiked across the globe. Leaks hinted at classified strategy sessions between military and scientific agencies. The unspoken consensus was unavoidable. This was no longer a purely scientific mystery. It was a matter of planetary security. And then came the reply. In a bold move, a team from the SETI Institute transmitted a simple message toward Atlas: mathematical constants, the periodic table, and visual sequences designed to represent humanity. Days passed in silence. Then, almost exactly 72 hours later, a return signal was detected. A narrow band pulse, distorted but unmistakably timed to mirror the outgoing transmission. It was not an echo. It was processed. It was deliberate. And then the malfunctions began. Webb's instruments glitched. Hubble's gyroscopes faltered. Ground observatories reported frozen data streams and inexplicable misalignments, always when pointed toward Atlas. A growing suspicion took hold, that we were not freely observing this object at all. We were being allowed to see only what it wanted us to. A visitor does not hide itself. A scout does. Independent astronomers uncovered one final, chilling pattern. Atlas's movements, when mapped against planetary positions, formed a Fibonacci spiral, an ancient mathematical sequence found in nature, in art, and even in human communication protocols. Its pulses aligned with prime number intervals, signatures long considered the universal language of intelligence. The probability of this being coincidence was almost zero. Atlas was not just moving. It was speaking, in math, in structure, in behavior. And perhaps we have already answered. The silence from agencies, the vanishing data, the sudden secrecy, it all points to a truth too heavy for the public. 3 Atlas is not a comet. Not a rock. Not debris. It is a messenger. A probe. A machine built with purpose. And if its flare was an awakening, then it may already be fully aware of us. Whether it is an ancient relic drifting endlessly or the opening move of something greater, one truth now lingers over humanity like a shadow. We are being observed. We are not alone. And whatever 3 Atlas truly is, it has changed us